Hi, you're back with She the People. We've got all three of us, Shahida, Andy, and me, Mindy. And this is how it's going to be from here on out.
Woo, secured a spot.
Hi, Andy. Hi, Mindy.
Hi.
I'm
right.
just meeting Andy right now.
Yes,
On
in
this
real
call.
time.
Yeah. In this lifetime. We don't know past lifetimes. I'm sure
True.
we've been.
Yeah.
It's
Right. Yeah.
I love when worlds come together for me.
Yeah.
Like when cousins meet the other, because I have so many cousins on both sides of my family. And it's like one of my favorite things when cousins come together from either side and like really hit it off.
Aw.
And like friends coming together.
And it makes sense, right? Because I'm like, I love Mindy. So I'm sure if she loves a person, I'll love that person.
It's
I
true.
married your cousin. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it tracks.
And the good cousin, like the good cousins. Because they're not all top notch.
There's not. There's top tier and then there's.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no bottom barrel, but there is like there's definitely top tier.
Yeah.
For sure.
You want to know what's so funny is about worlds like colliding, like just weird coincidences too, is that Aaron went to a doctor and the doctor that he saw was the same doctor that rebuilt my eye socket 20 years ago.
Oh, my goodness.
Isn't
What
that weird?
story involves you having to redo your eye socket?
I wish
Motocross.
I could only afford half a facelift. No, I hit a windshield and then I had a blowout fracture. But
Gosh.
I remember thinking like, oh God, that ENT doctor, he was like weirdly attractive.
Dude, ENT doctors, in my experience, are very good looking. Like the
Very
most
good-looking.
attractive doctor I've ever seen
They
is
put
ENT.
the little thing in front of their eye, like the little whatever that is. They
Yeah.
just like, put it down, and I'm like, with the headband.
It does it for you.
Why?
You're into monocles? Are you
Yeah,
into monocled men?
That's a weird thing, like a weird.
That is,
kink.
yeah.
But I liked it, and I'm like, oh gosh, I remember he was like such a handsome dude, and Aaron was like, he's older now.
Yeah. 20 years later.
I was
Yeah.
like, that makes sense.
That
I
tracks.
too yeah. Anyway,
So-
I thought it was weird.
Yeah, that is
What side of the family, Andy, do you belong to?
my dad.
Your dad. Okay.
Yeah. Her husband, Aaron, is my cousin.
On their dad's side. So Aaron's dad and Mindy's dad are brothers.
They're the only brothers in a large family. There's a lot of sisters.
I see.
Yeah.
And
Which is
what side of the
probably why-
family?
Jesse's on this side. Darcy is Aaron's sister.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Darcy came to hang out with us at our MCH reunion, and it was awesome.
Yeah, love Darcy.
Yeah.
She's also a nurse. So it's always handy to have all these medical people in the family. It's just
Yeah.
a bonus.
Yeah,
Andy,
for sure.
you're a nurse, right?
I'm a medical assistant and I pretend to be a doctor.
Sometimes you have to do doctor things.
And now I've been telling people I do a podcast that's my job. And that's
What do you do? I'm a podcaster.
I told my 3-year-old I was going to work and she believed me, so that's good enough for me. Like, mommy has to go to work.
That's so Gen Z.
Yeah. Okay, so today we're going to talk about accountability. Yeah, which we're
big
not
topic.
we're not seeing a ton of it. I look forward to the day when it exists again, but we're not seeing a ton right now. And I did just because I think it's always important when you talk about a topic to define what it is and what it means to you. So there's so many different kinds of accountability, like personal accountability, owning your own actions, being honest with people, systemic governments, corporations, institutions failing people. There's community and spiritual or like religious. I feel like we're seeing a lot of non-accountability there, like answering to your people and like holding to your values that you say are important to you, and
Yeah.
then public holding power responsible through media, voters, and pressure. So there's a lot of different ways that I feel like people can hold themselves accountable and that society can hold you accountable, and that hopefully, but we don't have that option right now, like the Department of Justice or our justice system might have to hold you accountable.
Or we as the people can hold our institutions accountable. It
And I
goes in
think
both directions.
it does. And I think that happens more than we realize. I'm just realizing that more and more, that I feel like more it's the people that are holding people accountable. It is not our institutions. And because I've gotten really into, I don't know if you guys do this, but I've been watching a lot of the Senate hearings. And nothing ever comes from it, right? How many times has Donald Trump been impeached? But like nothing happens. No one's ever held accountable. And I feel like in the end, it's always the people that end up doing it. It's fun. It's like the people suing them or coming after them, and then they're destroyed because that's where the information comes out. So, for instance, Donald Trump was sued or in a civil suit with a woman that he had raped. I think we could say not allegedly anymore because he was found
Guilty.
guilty. And he is
Convicted.
on camera saying, I don't know if you guys have seen this clip, but they're asking him questions. It's a deposition. And he is saying she liked it.
Yeah.
And then the response was, are you saying that she liked to be raped? Yeah, she liked
Yes.
to be raped.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm going to tell you right now, no woman likes to be raped, or child, or anyone.
Or man. I don't think, or human.
The definition of rape is that you're doing it against someone's will, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound consensual, and it doesn't sound like something that anyone wants
And in no
or is
world
asking
do you
for.
get, in no world, no space on this planet, do you get to tell someone they liked it.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
You don't decide.
Yeah.
And you certainly don't say it under oath unless you're a complete fucking idiot.
Which is true. I have to side note here, just because I've been putting up clips on YouTube. So follow us on YouTube. And
I'd like to say right now, I did not know that those were going to be on YouTube. So if I picked my nose or whatever, didn't realize that going into
you
it.
didn't.
I look like a vampire. I don't understand it. There's no color in my face, but
You do look pale.
It's got a bluish hue.
I live in a house with no lighting. Okay, so I don't know what I look like ever.
That's true. It
that's
is
part-
dark.
There's no lighting here. It doesn't exist.
You could get a lamp. I don't know.
Do you know how expensive lamps are? I went to
Your
look-
husband and your father-in-law make
lamps.
beautiful
Okay.
lamps.
This is a good example of not holding yourself accountable. I could fix the lighting, but I
The cobbler has no. The cobbler's children have no shoes. Is that the case here?
But my point was that, like, it's just men are so triggered. Talking about the voting thing, a guy responded that you don't know what you're talking about. This is misinformation. You're not smart enough. Maybe you shouldn't vote. Something else. So
Case in point, you're trying to take away women's rights to vote.
I literally was reading from a fact-checking website too. So I responded to him because that's like, I'm trying to engage. And so he called us not smart. So I said, oh, Dale, thank you for your comment.
Thank you, Dale.
Thanks, Dale. But
Dale, you're king.
Yeah,
Thanks for stopping by.
someone with a PhD and a doctorate, and they're not smart. And then I said something because he said something about morals or something. And I was like, as a nurse and a veteran, I'm not a liar. Oh, he called us liars. And he responded and said, I don't know when a doctorate and a PhD or education gives you good morals. And then I was like, this is MAGA. This
Mhm.
is MAGA. This is the stupidity of, did you read your own comment? You called us not smart.
Mhm.
And that's where education comes into play. So I just couldn't. I was like, okay, Dale, you have the day you deserve. And then another guy was like, this is progress. I'm just like, you guys are, yeah, this is why there's a male loneliness epidemic. Or it's bots. I don't know. And then I'm like, I'm not going to get in arguments with bots.
I have to say, I mean, there's been people I know that are close to me, like personal, like relationships I have, one in particular, and I got a text immediately after one of our episodes, and it was hardcore triggered person. You guys hate men. And I'm like, no, that this is not a man hating situation. If you look at what's happening though in our country, feels like y'all hate women.
Oh,
Just having a conversation.
was it a man triggered?
Yes.
I
Yes.
know. They're so triggered. They're so triggered by us standing up for ourselves.
I'm like, I know it's hard to compartmentalize for some people. And when topics get brought up and things get talked about, it's like automatically a defensive feeling. But
Yeah,
that
they take it
only tells
personal.
me that you've been
Mhm.
terrible to women. That's all that like my husband listened to the podcast and he thought it was amazing.
Yeah. He thought we were funny and we were talking about like misogyny.
He thought we had great points. He thought it was really good. He liked it.
That sounds like a secure man right there.
He loved the manipulate for good. That was his favorite part. And so I was like, it's so interesting, the two takeaways. One person got super defensive and they're like, why are you just like such man haters? And I'm like, I don't think you get it.
No.
Which
And
I
it's
don't think
just
they
not
will
worth
get it. Here's the
Yeah.
thing, though. Is it worth engaging with
No.
those types? Because they're clearly beyond reason. They're speaking from what MAGA talking points or their own isolation, their own pain, their own wounds. So the
Yep.
thing is that no one's going to help them. They have to help themselves.
No.
Yeah.
No. There was one that was like, this is progress. And I'm responding for the women that go on there because women leave comments too. And so I'm not going to engage with them at all. But I
What
did
was he
say
referring to? What is progress?
us not having the right to vote. So I just responded,
Funny.
that was a different guy. So I just responded, you sound short and bald.
Zing!
They have something called testosterone. You can go get some, baby. You can do
Yeah.
it. Talk to your doctor.
There's a pill now and it will help your penis.
If you
Yeah.
don't have health insurance, be forewarned. It could get costly, but
Stop
Yeah.
being so angry.
I know. It's
a lot
just
of anger.
and we know that the anger is coming from a place of women not liking them.
Yeah.
And they're like proving their point. That's why I just obviously I'm not gonna get into it with MAGA.
There
It's
was a
not worth
comment,
it.
the comment directed towards our conversation about the bee stings, I thought was great because it was like, go be BEE by yourself or be with a woman. Like, super good pun. That one stung, but like, you don't like it because it's true. And there's also a third option that you're missing. I could be married to somebody who isn't like you.
Yeah.
Which is what I've done. So those aren't my only options. I don't have to be alone or be with a woman. I can marry a man who's not a misogynistic asshole and appreciates a woman's role in the world we live in and what they bring to the table. That's literally all we're asking for. Nobody's asking for anything else. You just have to give the respect that people deserve. That's it. It's not that hard.
And I like to say to people, instead of getting defensive and taking it personally, why don't you ask them why they feel that way? And the same goes for people of color. Like, instead of getting all defensive and taking things personally, maybe it has nothing to do with you. And maybe you should just ask them, like, how did you get to this point in the way that you're feeling? But these people, these men, they're never gonna, I don't foresee that in their future anytime soon.
It requires being introspective and reflective and seeing outside of yourself.
Yeah.
And it's asking for mature behavior that I think is asking too much of these people.
And I think we are seeing now too, women are a lot more vocal when it comes to a lot of women don't really get it.
But when
So
you look to historically, this is why history and learning history is important, but not like some sort of whitewash bullshit history that we all get to learn. But historically, when you look, when women were fighting for their right to vote, there were so many women out there against it and like in their face yelling at them. And the same thing when white women have made really terrible decisions for people of color, for themselves, and to this day, and still
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah.
It's just, dude, wake up. There's some Hispanic women I don't understand at all that were just huge Trump supporters, but women need to get out of their own way
Yeah.
for sure.
be the angry person yelling in someone's face. That's
I think that they believe that the patriarchy will exempt them in some way. They feel secure in the patriarchy. But I'm going to tell you right now, that's an illusion.
it's
Well,
just
and are
like
they
the MAGA
happy?
voters. Yeah, they're not
Or-
happy, but just like the people who voted and the MAGA voters, now they're like, wait, what? They thought they were going to be in like a different group?
Category.
You thought you were going to be like elevated to a new status? No, they don't give a shit about you.
No.
Just like they don't give a shit about women.
They'll throw you
Yeah.
under the bus immediately.
Yes, and utilize you where they need to, and that's it. There's no, are you comfortable with this?
No.
They don't even care if you want to not have sex with them. Hello?
They'll rape you. And then they'll just get away with it. There'll be no
Right.
protections for you at all. That's their whole goal, is that they'll marry you when you're 15, rape you, and then put you out to pasture when they don't want you anymore. And that's their ideal situation.
And that's not just a guess. This is like things we have heard from men who have a platform to speak about it.
Yes.
They've talked about the
This
plan and
exact
where
thing.
they think women should land on the scale of
Well, it
existence.
already exists in church
Religious,
religious societies, and this is already a thing, and it's just like spreading. I do want to say, because the manipulate for good, did you see that Mom Donnie manipulated for good? You have to look it up if you
Talk
haven't
to
seen
me.
it.
Talk to me.
Yeah, he went to visit with Trump.
Was it the Columbia student?
That, but also he's trying to make a deal for building affordable housing. And so he made him to, I think it was Ford, like a real front page New York Times article, or what, I don't know what the newspaper was. And then Mom Donnie brought him a mocked up with Trump, like our savior for affordable housing. And there's Mom Donnie and Trump's just beaming. He like loves Mom Donnie
What
with
a
his
smart
two,
guy.
yeah, with his two newspaper front pages. And I'm like, yeah, this is what I mean. Manipulate for
And
good.
you tell
Exactly.
Trump, we're going to name it like Donald Trump's affordable housing. Like it's going to
Yeah.
be huge. It's
Yeah.
gonna be amazing.
And the shortened name will be King's Houses. Yeah. And I know he's surrounded by women. And this was like, isn't Mom Donnie. I don't think this is actually him. I think this is people in his circle. Hey, because that sounds like a woman's idea right there. That's something that we would come up with.
Yeah. If I want something built for me, like a cutting board or something, I just have to be like, honey, do you know how amazing you are at like woodworking? But I don't know if you could do this exact cutting board. Let me show you a picture of it. I don't know if you have the right stuff for it. Could you put this together? That dude will be out there 5 seconds. He'll order everything he needs online. He will get the parts and we'll be done.
I don't know. I don't know if you could do this.
I don't know if you have the time. I don't know if you have the patience. Like, it seems very like intricate.
It's really skilled. If you could do this is a high level of skill right here.
Yeah, exactly. It's really not that hard. I do it with my kids all the time. So,
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's effective.
I mean,
Clearly.
it works.
You flatter someone, especially someone that's a narcissist like Trump.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
You stroke their ego, you laugh at their jokes. How many jokes have you laughed at
Yeah.
on a date?
So funny.
Especially when they have
When-
the puns. Come on.
We should totally have a show of worst dates we've ever been on because I've got some good ones.
Yeah.
I bet every
Uh-huh.
woman has some good
Immediately, I
worst
just
date stories.
Yeah, I just thought of 5.
Yeah, I just came up with a list, mental list.
and I want to do it in a comparison of like men talking about the worst dates they've been on and what it was for them, and then compare the two, like just to see where we're at.
Yeah, I've seen some of men's worst dates, and they have some bad ones too.
I just think the
Sure.
complaints might be a little, I don't know. Have you ever been on a date and then found out like that person was like a white supremacist? Raise your hand. Compared to some of the stories I've heard about like guys, and they'll complain about, oh my God, she like ate the whole meal.
Yeah, she
I'm
didn't
like, oh,
order
well,
a salad.
the dude I was on a date with told me he didn't believe in interracial marriage.
Yeah.
That's where
Yeah.
you live, Andy.
That's a reflection of Idaho.
Yeah. I was like, what's the conversation after that?
How did he lead in into that
Talking about-
topic?
We were talking about weddings or something. I think I brought up like, it's always nice to have a wedding, like date, somebody to take to a wedding. And then he was like, oh, I didn't go to my best friend's wedding because he married a black girl. And I was, okay, how's your calzone? What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah. Where do you go from there?
You're eating Italian food, you asshole.
The irony is so lost on MAGA
Mhm.
too.
And this was, mind you, this was like a while ago.
Yeah, this is pre all this.
I can't even
accepted
imagine the
racism.
conversation now that it's okay to get
Oh,
it
yeah.
out.
Andy, I bet they have like white supremacist dating apps. There has to be.
Oh yeah.
What are they called? I'm just curious. We got to look this up. Whites only.
Whitewash. Whitewash.
Swipe.
I mean, eight. Okay, Rita. Yes. Swipe white. Yeah, somebody's gonna use that. That's
I know. It just we
part.
created it right here. And they're like, that's such a good name for it.
What a good place to go on though, just to be like, let me just check this list here. Okay.
Yeah. And avoid these people.
Yeah. Holy shit.
I can't even imagine honestly dating right now. Like the dating pool. I was just listening
Speaking
today.
of accountability, yeah.
Yeah, to a podcast, and it's just the amount of young men in this red pool or red pill, like
It is a hot garbage can on
it's
fire.
I can't even imagine what it's gonna be like. Really, there's no intervention, there's no end right now, there's nothing being done to turn the tide, to like change direction. And where are their mothers? I don't
Yeah.
I'm like, what is happening in their own households?
Maybe they just won't get married and have children and they'll just die off.
We can hope for sure.
Keep my fingers crossed.
Yeah, this is right, a kind of survival of the fittest. And I think more and more women, and especially young women, are wanting more emotionally connected men that are not complete misogynistic a-holes. So hopefully we do weed them out.
Well,
Yeah, I
until
mean,
that time comes, I've just been telling my older daughter, just avoid it.
avoid it.
It's not
I
worth
mean,
it.
that's what I do.
Yeah. Andy,
And
how
guess
do you...
what? She didn't fight me on that. She was like,
She's seen it. She's
Yeah.
way
like-
ahead of you, Mom.
yeah.
How
She's
do
like,
you talk to your daughter about stuff like that?
we just we have constant conversations about what it looks like to be treated the correct way.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I can't be like, don't date that guy. Luckily, the last thing she wants is to be pressured. She's like, I don't want to kiss people. I don't want to. It feels a lot of stress for her, but she'll get to a point where that's where she's at. But so it's just a lot of communicating, but luckily she is reserved. So she wants to talk to somebody for a really long time and get to know them. And so I keep encouraging that part of it. But yeah, I just have to continually be like, this is what you deserve. This is what you should never put up with. And it's just pushing that information every day, all the time.
Also, the example that you set and your relationship with your husband. She
Yeah.
knows what a good man, what a quality man
Yeah. Yes.
should act like.
I don't know, she's like this with everyone, but whenever I'm around her, we hang out together, and she loves to talk and chit chat and open up and talk about stuff. She's not a teenager that you have to pry things out of. She likes to have conversations.
And it's just starting to have conversations like that, like pretty early on. I think where parents are making a mistake is being afraid to talk about like relationships and sex and those kinds of things like earlier than you think.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I've done or made sure to do is tell her experiences from like my own life. Even if they're hard to hear, I think it's important for her to know what I've gone through, because then she doesn't feel like I'm just talking at her. Like, do this, don't do this, don't do this. I always incorporate in the conversation, this happened to me this one time, so I'm just telling you like what I experienced. So just be aware of what's going on. And it's helpful, but it's also like I bought a book about sex and relationships when she was 10, 11. And it's not a romanticizing sex thing. It's just like an informational type of thing. You want to give them as much information as you can, because I think when they absorb it earlier on, and people are weird. They're like, why would you talk to your kid about, I don't know. Can we maybe because half of our government want to have sex with 10-year-old girls?
Yeah.
Pedophiles are everywhere. There's people on sex registries like in our neighborhood. I think it's important for my young children to pick up on cues and understand what's inappropriate, what makes them feel inappropriate, if they're uncomfortable in a situation, what to do. It's more responsible to do that than it is weird to have a conversation with your kid when they're 9 or 10 or 11 about what that looks like.
And hide things from them. It exists. It's like racism, slavery, all these things, like they are real. They existed. Learned about them when I was in elementary school. And I feel like nowadays we're just like, no, hide it away. Don't talk about it. Although my parents never talked to me about sex or anything like that.
Well, some people can move through life and figure out things because they want to know. Or they're comfortable learning information. Some people they don't, like, it's such a taboo conversation and it feels wrong to even talk about it.
But the conversations that you're having with, and then maybe Shahida too, like the conversations that you're having with your children about treating other people and being treated the right way, the way you want to be treated, and treating other people the way they want to be treated and being respectful. Those are really important conversations that I feel like not enough people have with their kids. And I think that we're seeing the effects right now.
And how they want to be treated in a sexual relationship is probably one of the most important things, because that is where a lot of the violation kind of feelings happen, especially when you're younger. And I'm sure boys go through it too. I don't have boys, so I don't know. But as a girl, like thinking back to when I was younger, having those moments where I felt so uncomfortable and I didn't really know what to do, that's what I don't want to happen. How else do you prevent that but talk about it? And you got to talk about the positive things too. This can be such a good thing in your life if you really give it the respect it deserves and be with somebody who feels the same way. good things can come out of it. I don't want it to just be like a scary thing. Yeah. I
Yeah,
think
it was a scary thing for me. It was not something that,
Yeah.
was spoken about positively or matter of factly, or it was like, just don't.
yeah.
Just don't do it.
Which is
Yeah.
to me the dumbest thing. Like, what do you think you can just be like, don't do it, and then your kids are gonna be like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just more of a
Don't
realistic
drink.
yeah, I just think in a realistic way where I'm like, I think back to when I was 16,
No.
that ain't gonna happen. But at least I can say, here's the options, and this is what it looks like to have a healthy interaction. And if you ever feel this way, you always have an out. And
Mhm,
putting up those, like, safeguarding that and making sure she knows what she can come to me with, or that's,
mhm.
but also keeping on the accountability thing. It's like, we talk about that. You're also responsible for how you make other people feel, or your interactions with people, or the respect given and the respect received, those kinds of things. So just a
Which
healthy relationship with it. And yeah, talking about it like it's not just like some taboo thing. Like, I think that's the wrong direction to go. But that's just me.
Shahida, though, how do you raise Ian to be respectful of women and not fall into this?
Yeah. It's a lot of it is example setting. That's where kids really learn so much. It's almost nonverbal at this age from when he was younger to now when we're having more conversations about it.
How old is he?
He's 10,
Yeah.
going to be 10, and we actually just bought a book of values that we read. We try to read daily, like we read one value a day. And just giving him language. He's really good with language. So just giving him the wording of what does responsibility mean. And it's a really good book. It's outdated, but the concepts are very appropriate. They're applicable. These like virtues that maybe some people feel like they get from their church or whatever. Like we have a book, we have a process for instilling these values and talking about these values and then living those values.
Yeah. Have you talked to him? Has accountability came up, like that part of it?
No, but we have talked about responsibility
Yeah.
and they're related. I think a lot of these kind of feed into accountability,
Yeah.
right? It's being respectful, it's being responsible.
I think accountability almost is what happens when you're not respectful. You screw up the first part and then
And taking
you're
ownership. We've had a lot of conversations about that. Is you're gonna make mistakes, gonna make people feel a certain way. You just have to own it and not excuse it, and that's huge. And
yeah.
I see progress, like, in my house.
And apologizing.
Yeah.
So we talk about that all the time. Even if it's me, if I made a mistake, I'm sorry I did that.
Yep.
And modeling that behavior and that language and that interaction that you want to have with someone because you care about them.
Yeah. That's one of the best parts of having a relationship with a man, even if it's so Aaron is her stepdad, but he will apologize if even if in the back of his mind you're not, he'll still be like, I'm so sorry I made you feel that way, or whatever. And he's always been good at apologizing. So I think she has seen that from a young age. And I think it's actually made a huge difference because she's gotten to the point now where she's actually talking to adults about things. Like her grandma's kind of a MAGA person, but she made a comment about the Super Bowl halftime show, and Hadley showed her Donald Trump's tweet and was like, but do you think this is acceptable? And that's
Wow.
a 14-and-a-half-year-old calling out her grandma.
Boom, Hadley.
And
Yeah. Not Andy's mom.
not my mom, different grandma. But I was like, I don't know. Like, I started bawling after I got off the phone with her when she told me, because I was just so proud of her. But I was like, I think it is a result of constantly having conversations and saying, if you have feelings, you have to speak up about them. You don't have to be disrespectful, but you don't have to feel uncomfortable because of what other people are saying around you, even if it's an adult.
And I think that's so important right now is calling people out. It's the only way that we've ever made progress in society is by people that maybe you care about or you have a relationship with calling other people out for bad behavior and holding them accountable. Nobody's holding our president accountable right now. Like nobody.
Nope.
And just especially talking about young women, I know that, Andy, I know you're paying very close attention to the Epstein files, but for me, it's just one of the most disgusting things. It is the biggest scandal in my mind that I know of that's ever hit an administration. This is a huge operation of child sex trafficking, financial crimes, blackmail,
Implicating
how many
leaders
it's
all over the world.
all over the world.
And thinking about how it's shaped our, like, growing up as, like, women our age, if you look back to the Victoria's Secret, all the stuff
Yeah.
that shaped how,
Yeah.
no wonder they want us to look like we're fucking 12 when we're 40. Like, it's creepy.
Yeah. And it's all these men that were in this powerful positions all over the world that were deciding these decisions. But specifically for Trump, now there's NPR story. It's Roger Sullenberger basically came out with the story first, but now it's NPR, it's New York Times. So it's credible evidence that they are covering up in the files. So it's and that the specific thing, it isn't even the FBI report. Specifically, it's came from a PowerPoint from over this past summer, an FBI PowerPoint just noting that there was an implication of Trump and a woman who came out in 2019 accusing him of sexual acts in the 80s and 90s. And
When she was
specifically,
underage.
it specifically, she was 13 to 15 years old during that time. Specifically, it was him forcing her and a friend to give him a blowjob, of which she bit him, and then he punched her in the face. And the way that it's so credible and that we know about it is that you like based on how you can read and what we have available. So their report exists. Where is it? They couldn't find it in the files, but it's in this PowerPoint. And then they can see that she's actually been interviewed 4 times. So this is a credible witness that's been interviewed 4 times by the FBI. And then a person with her same demographics sued Epstein and won. So there we know she's credible too. She not only did the FBI investigate and interview her 4 times, but then she was able to sue Epstein and win. Additionally, her testimony was also used to convict Ghislaine Maxwell. So here we are, credible 53 pages are missing from the Epstein files is what they can see. So a credible witness accusing Donald Trump of forcing sexual acts onto her when she was a teenager that has now been removed from the Epstein files. So there is an obvious cover up, obvious lying by by Kash Patel and Pam Bondi on
Sorry, it gives
yeah,
me a visceral reaction.
as it should. They lied under oath. And there's another credible witness too, but this is the main one that's been reported on. But there is another credible witness of a woman that accused Donald Trump of raping her again when she was a minor. And that also has been shown as an FBI report. This is the main one that has the most evidence and traction on it. But there are 2 credible reports of Donald Trump sexually assaulting, raping children.
And we're gonna clarify one more time. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. That is underage. That is pedophilia. Okay. Just want to clarify. It's not like they were 9.
They're still children.
They're
They're
children.
children. Here, and this is a second woman who was a key witness in the Maxwell prosecution, meaning she helped convict Maxwell, told the FBI that Epstein brought her to Mar-a-Lago to meet Trump in 1994 when she was 14. And that was quietly removed from the database. And I believe this is a woman, because she's a woman now, child then, who had a FBI report that documented that Trump did rape her when she was so.
Something I can't wrap my brain around. I was actually just talking to my sister this morning about this, is the leniency of laws and punishments for convicted child sex offenders.
If you're rich, right?
Even locally, to see
Yeah.
what some of these people have had as sentencing, or like what their punishments are and what the crime is. So it's like lewd and lascivious acts with a child under the age of 12 or 13.
Yeah.
To see what they've received and what their punishment is now, it is like mind fucking blowing.
Compared to maybe someone that got pulled over and had cocaine on him.
No, marijuana.
It's
We're
like,
in the state of Idaho. You get harsher punishments for having X amount of marijuana or whatever. Or if you accuse somebody, you get in bigger trouble than the person accused. It's crazy.
Wow.
But we have people who get let off the hook who have done these things, even pled down. If you plead down, you're still admitting guilt. I don't give a shit if you're like, but I didn't do it, but I pled. I don't fucking care. You've been found guilty. And just the leniency for me, it's crazy. Like, we're supposed to put people in prison who are the most dangerous to society as a whole. These are people who are predators to the most vulnerable population we have. Why are they not held
Receiving the harshest punishments.
receiving the harshest punishments?
Mhm.
And it's not like, you look at the rehabilitation for somebody like that,
they're back in society.
like, that in and of itself should tell you that somebody's like swinging it.
Well, like, this is my problem with the judicial system too, is it shouldn't matter what state you're in or where you
Yeah.
are. It shouldn't matter who you are or how much money you have. It shouldn't matter if you're a person that is in a position of power, or you're state government, or you're a police officer. None of these things should matter. It should be exactly the same across the board. It's so ridiculous to me that like a 14-year-old in Missouri could get raped and a 14-year-old in California could get raped. And those people that are doing the raping have anything different. They should both be going to jail for the same amount of time. And I also believe in these situations that it's always for the victim to provide enough evidence to convict the perpetrator. How does that make any sense when I've talked about this before? There's a really good study. It was done by Australia, and it was taking data from across the world to see how many people are wrongfully convicted for like egregious acts like rape and violent acts. How many people are wrongfully accused?
Like
based
violent
on-
sexual acts.
Yeah. So rape, attacks, things like that. This is an article that was done in Australia. It's a meta-analysis because they took all the data from all the world. 5%.
Yeah.
5% of the time somebody is wrongfully accused. And even that, or were they just not convicted? Was there just not enough evidence there? So 5% of the time. So how many people have accused Donald Trump? If you just take it as a whole, 100, if you looked at it as a percentage.
Yeah.
When this was before the Epstein files were released, and there was still a lot of anger and asking to see them, and they're still withholding all the Epstein files. I was talking to someone about he's a pedophile, and they were like, we don't know that. We don't know that. I'm like, how do we not know? Do you hear the words coming out of his mouth? He's been convicted of rape
And do you want to
and
chance
assault.
it? You really want to chance it? You want to roll the dice on that one?
Like, can we just use common sense and take what he says and his actions at face value.
Yeah, Mindy and I talked about this too. Like the fact that you have to try to excuse the president of the United States behavior and defend against this. Look at the outrage over a blowjob from a grown.
Right.
I know.
Yeah.
God, she was only 18. Clinton's a piece of shit too. To be clear, like that
I'm not
guy.
talking about the person. I'm just saying like the accusation and the result of what happened with that
Totally.
accusation.
Totally.
You can't spin it. And it's just, you don't do, society, we don't do that. We just should not. They should be accountable for their actions. Straight up.
I don't understand how anyone can still be defending him. Let's just talk about common sense. Just really easy, basic common sense. Why would your own Department of Justice cover something up, not want to release it, and then start saying, let's get over it. We shouldn't talk about it anymore. I'm so over this.
Can we,
like, common sense? What does common sense tell you?
Ounce of me doesn't want to do this right now. Okay. But I'm going to do it anyways. Can we give a small shout out to Marjorie Taylor Greene? Like, she got behind that microphone and was like, victims don't want to say this because of what will happen to them because of the people they're accusing. Give me the list. I'll go say the names. I'll go on the floor and say that. I was like,
Yeah.
who has taken over her body?
And the way that they're doing it, though, too, the way they're releasing the files, the way that they've released victims' names, pictures, they are trying to intimidate.
Yeah, it's clear what they're doing. But good behavior should be acknowledged. Somebody being brave enough to say that should be acknowledged. I don't really care. I'm not a fan.
But she really, put her name on the line.
She did put it out there, and she did say, I will not say who it is, but give me the list and I'll go make it public. And you got to give credit where credit's due. That's pretty ballsy.
I would say, like, Thomas Massey is more my...
Thomas Massey's been,
There have been very few champions for these victims. That's noteworthy to say also.
Ro Khanna, but I like Ro Khanna. He's from California. He's a Democrat.
Mhm.
He's not letting this go, but he's, at least Thomas Massey and him are like pairing up. They're working on bringing something to the floor so that we don't go to war with Iran.
But from the Republican Party, they're just a bunch of hypocrites.
And that's what Mindy and I have said this before too. It's like, that is the difference between, I vote Democrat because I believe in a lot of those policies. But this is how you're not in a cult. Like, I don't fall on the sword for anybody. If you fuck up, I don't really care what party you're representing.
We want accountability across the board.
Yeah, I could care less.
I want accountability for Pam Bondi, because what a piece of shit she is. For Kash Patel.
You guys,
there's so many things that I want accountability for, but I'm
video of Kash Patel celebrating with the men's U.S. hockey team. Can I just say that is my ultimate ick?
Yeah.
That could turn me off men forever. Watching him celebrate.
I feel like it did for me.
I was just like, dude, you are the grossest human I've ever seen.
He's such like the dorky guy that like made him his way, that like all your friends are, who let that guy in here? He's like, yeah. But everybody wonders how he got in.
Just the creepy fucking weirdo that popped up somewhere and you're like, huh?
That's my impression of him.
That's hitting on all the girls and they're like, he's gross. Like that, he's just, I don't know. And won't answer a question, won't be honest to save his fucking life. Zero accountability. I think he thinks he's in the big boys club and he's not. He's going to be the first one to get booted. He'll be a sacrificial whatever for them, but I'm just like,
there's a person of color and a white woman in Pam Bondi, like thinking that they're in the club, cozying up to a system they think will protect them. And Trump's and the administration, they don't give a shit.
No.
They'll throw them under the bus.
This is
if
like
it doesn't suit them anymore, if they're not effectively
Yeah.
doing their job or hiding or protecting
Or
the
lying. They're
president,
not lying well
right?
enough. They're not.
Right.
Yeah. And he expects you to stake your entire reputation, your everything. That's the expectation. And now you have people who could not be more hated by the most of the country that thinks this is insane. And that's the life they're going to have to live until they go to prison or wherever they're going to be. I would like to hope that's going to happen. I'm trying to be like optimistic.
That's what we need. We need a lot. We need accountability. If we're going to actually progress and move out of this shit show, people have to be held accountable. And that includes every ICE agent that I've seen throw someone down to the ground or murder someone. That includes from the top all the way down to the bottom for me. I want every single person held accountable, and not just I was following orders or I was doing what I was told or I had to get a paycheck. None of that. That's unacceptable. It's completely unacceptable. You probably haven't seen this, but on some of the ships that are over getting ready to attack and go to war with Iran for no apparent reason, that some of the soldiers, the Navy, the seamen are like putting shit in the toilets to break the boats because they don't want to be there. They don't want to go
They're
into a
sabotaging
war.
it. Yeah.
They know. And it just disgusts me, this administration and their lack of value for any human life. They're so un-American. And these people that defend them, as a veteran, I am just disgusted with the way that they treat soldiers and troops. And that, oh yeah, here, move them like they're playing fucking Battleship. You go fucking play Battleship, you pussy ass bitches.
Woo! Yep.
Draft dodging motherfuckers.
Get it, girl.
Yep.
It's just disgusting.
Cook, Mindy, cook.
It
Tell
is.
us. Somebody needs to.
It's disgusting. I mean, there's really high up people that have retired that are telling these stories that are like, yeah, this is what's happening because, and I've heard that there's a lot of people in the military right now that are really disgusted with what's going on. Because this is a war that Israel wants. This has nothing to do with America at all.
Can I, on the topic of war really quick though, because Aaron and I were talking about this, have you guys read the articles about Anthropic and Pete Hegseth and all that? Aaron and I were talking about it and I was like, why would Pete Hegseth want AI? And Anthropic came up with this AI, which is already like crazy smart, manipulating
Yeah.
all of this.
We'll
try to kill people. It's already blackmailed people. It's already tried to copy itself. Like, it's crazy. And he wants it for the Department of Defense.
He wants the specific things that he wants is surveillance and then the ability to kill people. That's
Correct.
essentially the two things that they said no. And all AI has done that when given the chance. It will blackmail. It will, like, to save itself. It will go to any length when put in these like situations to check it.
Yeah, Claude, right? That's the AI.
This is so creepy.
It's so weird because it's like they used it, the Pentagon used it in the invasion of Venezuela, this AI, and now Anthropic's.
Also, the CEO wrote a scathing letter saying that this is wrong, and then that got out there.
And I think it's been used for adversaries of the country, like not on its own people. You're like, why do you need to mass surveil U.S. citizens?
That's what they want. They want us to be in a surveillance state, but it's not fascism.
What?
It's not.
You guys.
They're not racist. Stop calling us Nazis.
They want to create the specter of the enemy so that they can say, oh, we're using this technology for X, Y, and Z. But it inevitably will be used against its own people.
Yeah. stop calling us Nazis when we have the people
For
who
purposes
are
of control.
and you have videos of these self-proclaimed, like, they go out and protest against the ICE protesters, and they use Nazi
I know.
language.
And they wear Nazi signs.
Yeah, they're like, it's the whatever. I'm like, okay, if you're trying to send the message that you're not Nazis, talk to your people.
You're failing.
They did not get the memo. Go talk to your dudes that are out
Also,
there.
when you're putting Nazi slogans on the DOJ website, that's a problem.
Yeah.
That's Nazis.
That sounds like Nazi fascism right there.
That's yeah. If you're gonna
Taking
play
the
the
actual
card,
verbiage from the Nazi party and using it in your government documentation.
and your advertisements to get more Nazis or ICE agents to join, you're using Nazi slogans, Nazi visuals. America First is a Nazi slogan. It was created in like the 1940s for America. That was the Nazi party that was in the Americas in the 40s after World War II. That was their slogan, America First.
Yeah.
And make
Don't doubt it.
America great again. It was Hitler's slogan, make Germany great again. If you're
It's a
gonna
play by play. Mindy, we've been saying this for a while. It's like the playbook is exact.
yeah, if you're gonna use the Nazi playbook, the book that says Nazi playbook on it, if you're gonna use that playbook, you're gonna have to expect to get called Nazis and fascists.
Don't hurt their feelings, you guys.
I
Listen,
know.
it's
That's some of these shows, the Democrats always they try to walk the line, but now they're having people on more that don't walk the line, that just call them out.
yeah.
So I appreciate it. I'm like,
There
stop
needs to be
walking the
more.
line.
Yeah, yeah. Not
They're
being
holding
so
them
careful with your language
Hold
and
them
Yeah.
accountable. Hold them accountable.
Hold them
Mm.
accountable. So
Yeah.
on that note, other people are being held accountable, right? In other countries. The former prince was arrested. Great. Mendelssohn was arrested. Great. Finally, the CBS guy, Dr. Atia or whatever, he was resigned. But not enough. That's not enough. And then France prosecutors are opening investigations. They're going to find a lot of stuff because they're looking into financial crimes.
Follow the money.
Yeah, I just read somewhere someone else is being held, but Lex Wexner and Leon Black are some of the biggest names in there that have not been held accountable at all, and Trump. But those are really two of the biggest names. Les Wexner's the billionaire behind Victoria's Secret. He's Epstein's original financial backer. And Leon Black. Those are two huge, and Virginia Giuffre, before her death, alleged she was trafficked to Wexner. So they're walking around free. We haven't seen anything.
What about Peter Thiel?
Dude, there's Peter Thiel. There's Elon Musk.
Have you seen the
There's-
video of Elon Musk and Tucker Carlson talking about, oh, if he doesn't get reelected, like, you're fucked? And he's going,
Yeah.
And I'm just like, it's so in everyone's face. It's
So blatant.
so blatant. I think that's what makes me the angriest too. Like, I see these videos and now we have we have this information and we have this stuff, and you look back to before the election and things that were being talked about and said. And that's the person who could easily rig an election, saying if he doesn't get reelected, I'm fucked, I'm going to prison. That's Elon Musk saying that. Who has the ability to ensure
Or the money or the influence. Right.
that person? If you can't put two and two together, you're a fucking idiot.
And what are you even, we talk about this a lot, but what are you watching to get you there?
Fox News.
You have to have your head so far in the sand right now to not
I
have
think
some idea.
I think sticking to their news program, which news is not the right word, their entertainment show, I think sticking to that, it completely gives them a box to live in where they don't have to be accountable for putting these people in these positions. And if I voted that way, I don't know if I could actually face it. Like, it would be like scary as shit.
Or there's pride or something, embarrassment. They're just doubling down.
Yeah, and I think there is a percentage of people that are like that are like, oh my God, I just can't even, I'm just going to stay in this world that I've created, which are coincidentally usually the same people who I don't talk about politics. We're not talking about fucking policies anymore. Like, we're talking about something totally different. I don't care if you're a Republican. Do you think this is okay behavior? That's really the argument here. Talk about the economy all you want, fine, but you're avoiding the conversation you don't want to have because it's either you can't face it, you don't want to face it, or you really think it's okay.
Yeah.
That's it. Those are your only options. If you can't look at me as a Republican voter and say I voted that way because I'm a Republican, but this is fucked up, then you either condone it or can't face it. That's it. To me, there's no like third option. Nobody can just be like, I've gathered all the information and what I've concluded that it's not true. No, you haven't.
Yeah, I watched Fox News. I
They
listened
told me it's
to
a hoax.
Nick Fuentes, who has gone off the freaking rails. That kid, my God, he talks about sex a lot for someone that's never had it. He's just
That's a
always,
classic move, though, right?
it's so crazy to me that these men that think they're alpha men follow these little bitches
Yeah.
to the end, really.
I think it tells me that they want to be that, right? That their values are so corrupted, or all they care about is money and power and influence, that it doesn't matter how you get there or what you do when you are there. Because they want that type of, what is the word? They want to be able to do whatever they want without being held accountable. Because that's what you get. That's what it's shown us.
They're all so unhappy, though. I think that's the hard part to help people realize is it's like these men are not happy. Trump is not a joyous, happy person. JD Vance is not having the greatest life ever. Elon Musk is on drugs all the time. They're often, Marco Rubio is doing a lot of coke. They're just, none of them are happy. It's hard to see
I wonder what
how,
their wives feel like.
yeah, or how these young men still want to follow them. Like Nick Fuentes.
They want the power
He's
to
like
do
the
whatever they
little,
want.
yeah, he's a little anger demon, though. He looks like he records in his mother's basement. And he like talks about how much he hates women and how much he,
And his mom is, do you want lasagna or do you
yeah,
want
I make cookies for you. And he's never had sex. And all these men just think he's the best. He degrades women and thinks that he talks about we're like vessels to have sex with, but yet he's never had sex with a woman. It's so bizarre.
sorry.
He's obviously a closeted homosexual, but that's really the only answer I have for people that are that angry at women and think that they are vessels for men to have sex with them, but they've never actually had sex with a woman. My conclusion is you're a closeted homosexual.
But we're like, come on out, buddy.
The water's nice out here. Tip your toe in. Tip your toe in. It's nice.
You would feel good if you put on like a rainbow colored Speedo and got out there and danced around and got in a parade. It's fucking fun.
Yeah.
Try it.
Yeah. You would be welcomed.
Yeah.
That's the
By
fun community. He would be so welcomed. He could go to the gay pride parade and they would all welcome him.
They would all be like, we've known for a while. You're like, come on in. I'm sure that there's somebody out there that would love him for who he is.
He'd probably completely change because he'd finally be able to be the person that he knows himself to be.
I'm a pretty firm believer in, I don't think people are 100% like straight. I think there's like some wiggle room, but I don't know why like men are so, if you're that like wigged out by a gay man,
How many times do you think
like you're
he's watched
showing your
Heated
cards.
Rivalry?
It's just like I think they're being like super straight.
I think they're being really slick.
Yeah.
But yet we
Like,
all
no,
know.
I'm fooling everyone.
Look how heterosexual I am. I'm so heterosexual, I can't fucking stand women. That's how straight
Yeah.
I am.
That's how straight I am. That I have to proclaim, you know, how
Okay.
macho I am. I have to tell everyone how manly I am.
Like Trump
And
talking
never
about
have sex with a woman.
who
That's
was
how I am so heterosexual
I've
that I've
never
never had sex with a
I've never
woman.
even slept with a woman because I'm so
Never.
straight.
I'm so
And
straight.
who was Trump talking about? He was talking about some foreign person, I can't remember, but he was like, he's so handsome. He's so handsome.
I
Like,
bet he thinks Mom Donnie's handsome.
Explore
Explore your sexuality. Just explore it. Don't,
okay to bring it to life.
but not children. Not children. That's just an absolute no. They're all about protecting children, but not about prosecuting or going after pedophiles. And meanwhile, here we have all this evidence, right? All these files, and the FBI is, it's done. We're done investigating. Meanwhile, in Tennessee, they're introducing a bill to execute women for having an abortion. And then your friends, you guys hate men. Do we? Or do men hate women and we're reacting to it?
I
That's
think
what it feels like.
if that's your takeaway from the conversation that is happening right now, you're not understanding what even the conversation is. And this is coming from a person, mind you, who listened to one of our episodes and was like, "You hate men." This is from somebody who's 70 plus. Okay, man, I don't want to name names. An older person, and I like knowing the information I know about this person.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that feels like guilt a little bit to me. Maybe you haven't been the greatest to women in the past, and 100% I know that, but I try to explain and have a conversation, but you get one conversation that
It's like, Mindy, when you were talking to your friend the last episode, it's like, why don't you believe what I say? You
Right.
love me, right? You think I'm an honest person. You think I'm a good person. I wouldn't fabricate something. And I'm telling you, this is my experience. How can that person say, no, I don't believe what you're saying, or you're exaggerating, or you're being dramatic, or it's just so disrespectful?
how can they gaslight you?
How can they gaslight you? For what purpose? To what end? So that you can feel like you're superior or have done everything correctly or aren't participating in some way? You're participating, right? When you're saying, I don't believe what you have gone through, and I know your experience, and I can tell you what your experience is, how do you say that to a person?
It's like saying she enjoys being raped.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I can just say from my own personal experience, I have never talked about something I've gone through, like with a man or with men in general, like things that I've experienced. I have never talked about those situations to make a man look a certain way. That's not
Right.
my goal. My goal is not to just like shit on this person. My goal is to have an honest conversation about the things I've gone through because they're traumatic. You talk about shared experiences with people who've gone through similar things, but when somebody outright says, no, you haven't, or you're blowing that out of proportion, or whatever.
And to be clear, it's usually men.
Right.
It's usually men saying, and I don't know that our demographic for this podcast is 70-year-old white men. I don't know. if they're listening, great. But
I know one 80-year-old man, he lives next door. He probably loves it because he respects women.
Yeah.
It's very interesting, the baby boomer generation, and you find some rare gems, but then there's a lot of them that just, they have the mindset of classic like, they didn't think that their actions would affect generations to come. So it's like, why would I really expect you to try to walk in my shoes now? Like, you weren't really thinking about it before.
And that's what we were talking about, Shahida, too, last time, is just that it's not my job. It's not my job to make you feel comfortable about things that have happened to me. That is not my job. I would love if you wanted to come to the table, and I'd be happy to hear things that have happened to you. And I have. I've listened to men tell their stories and be empathetic.
It's going to take people raising their boys in a totally different way. That's what it's going to take. But right now, it takes a lot for a man to sit down with you and really invest and then take in the experience and then be like, I'm so fucking sorry that happened to you.
Yeah.
That's it. Nobody's asking you to solve our fucking problems. Nobody's asking for you to fix it. We're just asking for you to acknowledge it.
Just to listen to what we have to say and not, and you don't have to have a solution, just to listen.
Don't judge it. Don't judge it as like true or not true, correct or not correct.
Yeah.
It's not your place.
No.
Show compassion. Be a human.
Stop trying to make excuses for bad behavior that's happened, because they seems like they just defend each other to no end, and that's part of the problem. It's if you're in a room and there's 10 men, just like what happened with Kash Patel, right? You have an entire team. I don't think that entire hockey team are bad guys, but maybe one. I think two of them said something. They actually said something in the moment while it was happening. Those are the strongest men in my head. Those are the strongest men. The ones that can be in a room full of men behaving poorly and putting women down and being bad citizens and stand up to them. And it rarely happens.
The captain came out after the fact. So he did all that, accepted the invitation, went, did all the things. And then he was like, I'm really embarrassed about my behavior. That doesn't count either.
Men have to hold other men accountable.
And
that's how it has to happen. It's one thing for us to be like, men need to be held accountable. It's another thing for them to hear it from their peers.
Yeah.
I think,
and to have an example and to be shown the example. This is how you are a good person and a good man and a good husband and a good father
and a good friend
and a good brother, a good teammate. This is how you do it.
Yep.
Yeah. And you have to practice it, right? Like, it's hard. It might be hard the first time you do it, but then you feel good about yourself and the women around you are really thankful. And then it gets easier the more you do it. And I think these types of men don't listen to women. They don't.
They don't respect
They
women.
don't value our opinions. They don't want to hear our stories. And so the only way is for men to hold men accountable. And I know we talk about this, and a lot of the clips on YouTube are about misogyny, but that's what's happening in our world right now. I love people are coming out and they're like, it's feminism. No, it's the patriarchy. It is the patriarchy that's the problem. It is misogyny that's the problem. Like, that feminism is a solution to the problem. And feminism is not taking more. Feminism is just that we want equal. That's it. We're just asking us to treat us with kindness and compassion and empathy, and the same way that we reciprocate it. And the reason to me that this is such a huge problem is it's growing. There's a lot of young men that are in this red pill pipeline. I hear a lot of men say, this is what we need to do. I'm like, just go do it. Do it. Be a role model, because it's not up to us. We're not going to be the ones that are going to be able to solve this for everybody. But it is such a cause. Here we have an administration that's covering up violence against children. We have women's health and babies' health being completely demolished across this country. We have violence against women, yeah, all over the place. I mean, it's such a problem. We have a white Christian nationalist movement that's trying to take away all women's rights right now. It's just the war against women right now is real. And it's why we keep having to talk about it, because something new, it feels like, is happening every single day that is another attack on women.
I used to think back to the baby boomers that I used to think, yeah, they're a lost cause, but they're going to die. Like they're
Yeah.
old and then we can move forward with the progress that we've made. And it's just surprising to me, this young male movement that I think also is affiliated with white Christian nationalism. And Trump, that he's made it okay to be openly misogynistic, openly despicable and vile. And I didn't know that so many men wanted to be like that. I'm just like, I'm so surprised.
It's eye-opening is what it is.
I
Isn't
think
it?
it
Whoa.
shows, well, I think it shows a lot of, also, though, I think that young white men are really easily corrupted. You don't see it happening as much in other demographics. It's mostly young white men in this country. I'm sure that it's happening in other countries too, where the demographic may be different, but I think there's a lot of reasons behind that. Young white men haven't ever had racism, sexism. They haven't had these things committed against them, or they haven't had to actually be brought up in these
Adversity.
things.
There's no adversity really, like
They don't have a
real.
ton of adversity other than maybe if they grew up poor or they grew up in an abusive family. But I think even those young white men are probably more likely not to fall into this red pill. If they have adversity, I think they're less likely probably to fall into this red pill pipeline.
Or they do the thing that happened to them. They
Yeah.
then abuse, or they think money is everything and money will get them everything they need. Like then you become extreme the other way. If you didn't have money, it seems like everything.
But they've been born into this role of where they are the predator. And then they're fed all this information to confirm that, yes, you are the top predator of the world.
And they've been told for so long to ignore their emotions or deny their emotions or be a certain way because they're male. If you cry, you're a pussy. If you do that, if you don't provide, guys, I'm just gonna say, love it when my husband cries. I love to know that he has emotions and he cries over things that I cry over. He cried, oh God, he's gonna kill me. He cried after he dropped our daughter off at school yesterday and called me crying because she was like, I want my dad. And she cried and he didn't want to leave her. The fact that I know that and he called me upset, I don't think men don't realize what that does. It's not
Showing emotion and being vulnerable. Yeah.
and showing emotion about the same things that we have emotions about. I cried when my daughter didn't want me to drop her off and she was upset. I cried in my car the whole way home. So it's just like we do have emotions about the same things because we're all human beings, but to be told to suppress, I can't even imagine what that does psychologically over time. But then it's like you're just told to be this like certain type of person. Do you lean into it or do you go against it? And it takes a certain type to be like, no, I'm not going to be the type of quote unquote male that society is telling me I need to be. And that's where the dangerous parts, I think, come into play is like other men being like, don't cry, don't be a pussy. That's got to stop.
I go to Santa Cruz. There's a lot of men there that I have amazing conversations with. The retired firefighter, and he's amazing. I just had a conversation with him the last time I was there, and I said, yeah, we need women to take the reins. And he said, yeah, we do. And I said, we need men like you to stand with us and by us. He's no, We just need women.
And you know
But we
what?
do. We need everyone to stand by us.
Guys can say whatever they want, and we just want to control or whatever, but look who has been in control. Be realistic about it. You've had a very lengthy turn. This is like a very long turn on the ride. It's okay to share some of the responsibility.
And I think that's part of the anxiety that men have, is that they don't want to share. They don't want to
No.
share the power. They don't want to give up the power that they have or the status that they have. And it's just so threatening to them,
Yes.
many of them.
God forbid the result is better. That
Yeah.
would be a huge problem. Yeah.
For people in power, equality feels like oppression. And so
Mhm.
that's the word that they use. They feel like they're being oppressed. The whole red pill movement is, you know who the real victims are? White men.
Yes.
I'm like, what logic did you have to like twist to get to that?
That's
They're so oppressed. Those poor men.
those poor white
Poor
men.
white men.
Now we're
I'm gonna make a slight detour, but when Trump was elected, and I was taking Ian to soccer games and whatever, we were in an area where I'm sure it was very Trumpy, and I was like, how would these parents feel if I were just yelling things that Trump says to their children? Oh, what a loser. Yeah, just grab him by the pussy. Like, I'm like, is this the person that you want? Like, you have children.
Yeah. You know what's interesting to me, speaking of soccer, what's crazy is I remember at a certain point, so we were at a soccer game and I remember Hadley like got physical with a boy on the team and like he fell down, and I remember the parents getting so pissed and like, she's too aggressive. And I just thought to myself, are you fucking kidding me? Like, you're upset that my daughter's aggressive? A girl can't be aggressive?
Yeah.
Those are the other like society things. If a boy did that to your son, you wouldn't have said a word. And like,
Yeah,
your
it's a
baby boy
double
can't take
standard.
a little shove to the ground. Come on. So yeah, I don't understand this. It's another like victim thing. Like, they can be aggressive when they want, and that's okay. But aggression is shown to them, and it's a problem, especially if it comes from a girl. I don't understand that.
just double standards.
There's always double standards.
There's a lot of baked in implicit, what are they called? Like, insults or aggressions, microaggressions.
Biases?
Yeah. Like, you're like, women are constantly given these signals that you can't be this, you can't be that. You have to be nice. You have to be.
Yeah. You can't have male type qualities. We talked
Right.
about this before.
Yeah.
If you're aggressive, if you're like,
If you're assertive, it's viewed
You're a
as
bitch.
aggression.
you're a bitch.
Right? Yeah.
If you're athletic, you're a lesbian. If you're like, the list goes on and on. It's just because I'm disappointed with male behavior, I should go be with a woman. Are you
Right.
like the take it or that is that a take it or leave it option? Because
And I think that's a big problem right now is that here we are, all these things are happening to women and it's our fault.
yeah,
It's like, you guys brought it on yourselves with your whole Me Too thing. It's like, we're being blamed again for everything. It's the patriarchy and men in the patriarchy and also women in the patriarchy. That's what the problem is right now.
yeah.
It's not women or feminism.
Can you imagine being a woman like Pam Bondi or Christina?
I would kill myself.
I
wouldn't even question it. If I woke up and I was Pam Bondi, I'd be like, where's the gun? Bam. You're welcome.
yeah.
And then I'd go back to my body.
That's my worst nightmare.
To be a woman like
To
that,
sit there while she was getting questioned, like, just the
knowing
attitude,
what she knows.
the responses,
Knowing what she knows.
knowing what she knows. How can you fucking look at yourself in the mirror every day? Like,
She's recorded at a coffee shop where she's talking to someone and they were asking when the files are going to come out, and they're trying to be quiet, but somebody was recording them. And you can see her, so it's her, and hear her. And she said, "Oh, it's really hard because there's so many files and there's so many videos of children."
Yeah, we know
She's
this.
on camera. So she's been watching videos of children being raped, being molested, being assaulted, and she's no more to see here.
Just trying to come up with a plan on how you're gonna evade
Cover it all up.
questioning and defend it. Yeah.
Hey, but the Dow's at 50,000. Never. I want accountability. I've said this before. I just want every single one of them to be broadcast on live TV. And I just want to ask the question, since they're all so God-fearing, Jesus-loving, whatever. Did you treat others the way that you want to be treated? And I want to hear the answer. And if it's yes, then they get treated how they've treated others. Pam Bondi, you watched children get raped and then you've covered it up. So apparently that's how you want to be treated.
Blows my mind. What does her life look like? I can't even imagine.
They all
They
do
have to
drugs.
be self-medicating or something, because I watched a couple videos and I went in, I did the deep dive and I was up the entire night, and then I had a full-blown panic attack the next morning.
Ugh.
Like on my front porch. If that's not your response to what you're reading and seeing, then you need
When you're
psychiatric help.
seeing the unredacted files,
Yeah.
knowing that our own president is in there and just attempting, she has a long history with these men because she was the AG in Florida. She was trying to cover it all up again.
I almost feel the emptiness in their souls is so, it's like a chasm in there. Like the lack of humanity that they're showing is just, it's really jarring.
It's evil.
But
It's
we
vile.
need to bring we need to bring God back and Jesus.
Yeah. And that's the other thing. That's like
Barf, please.
the other side of the coin is that they want to believe that they are God fearing and Jesus loving, and it's unfathomable how they can do both things. There's so much cognitive dissonance that's probably happening.
How often are you dissociating from yourself?
What are they called? There's like that disassociative like personality
Yeah.
disorder. And then there's like, it's called the gatekeeper. Like they have that one personality that's like usually like really mean, and that's the protector of the other personalities that live inside them. They all have to have that gatekeeper personality because
They
are
all have
disassociating.
they all have personality disorders. I don't doubt that. I bet they all have varying personality disorders.
Totally.
Like narcissism, borderline, you name it. I'm sure that it's in there. It's in the administration somewhere.
Pam Bondi's like gatekeeper personality. Her name's like Patricia. And she just gets
Yeah.
microphone.
Pat. It's like an ambiguous name.
It's Pat when she's like getting real.
Is she woman? Yeah. It's Pat.
And Pat's, look at the economy.
That's the personality that comes out right then.
We asked you about the Epstein files. She's, yeah, I know, but look at the stock market.
They're like, I don't see how that's relevant. It's totally relevant. It's like,
It's 1,000% relevant. What are you even talking about? What kind of question is that?
I'm sure that MAGA watches it and they're like, oh, she got him good. And we're all like, no.
They're like, she knocked it out of the park.
No.
Okay.
No, that's a failure on so many levels. That's a failure.
If like how to answer a question, then no, she did not.
Yeah, she deflected because she's lying.
But also, if you do believe that all that matters is the stock market, then you need to look within yourself.
Especially if you're not investing in the stock market.
And also, it's 5 companies that are just like going gangbusters in the stock market. And they're all asshole AI corporations.
Yeah, who do you?
Why is it like, oh, but you know what we should really be like championing are these billionaires making more billions and billions of dollars. Like your value system is
flawed.
upside down.
This is a problem with the US too, is our value system, right? So we measure how our country is doing. Like Finland, right? They measure how their country's doing by how the actual people in the country are doing. They have happiness measurements and they're measuring they don't have the biggest GDP, but they have all these measurements of how the people, they don't have their homeless population. I don't even think they have one because they've housed them all. And education, who's being educated, and free healthcare for everyone. And
They're
we
taking
measure
accountability.
we measure how we're doing on the stock market.
No, they're taking accountability for the happiness of the people that live there. That's the difference. That's what that looks like.
And that's what real leadership looks like. That's
Right.
what real patriotism looks like. That's when you're a real patriot, and real leadership is you're looking at the majority, you're looking at your people. How are my people doing? And I'll tell you right now, they are not doing good. I just listened to a woman saying she's 65, she's lost 20 something pounds because she can't buy food. And that's not a single person's story. That's many people because of the cut of Medicaid, all the cuts of SNAP where children are starving, older people are starving.
Yeah.
Nobody has health care.
Yeah. Ask yourself, are you happy?
Your people are suffering. But hey, look at the stock market, guys. It's great.
The crypto dudes are fucking crushing it.
So-and-so bought another $700 million yacht. So we're on track.
My yacht hasn't been delivered yet. Exactly. I can't even fix my aluminum boat.
If you go out and you're like, if you called me up one day and you were like, I just got $150 million yacht, I would be like, fuck you, bitch. I never am going to talk to you again.
Is Andy a billionaire?
I can't afford a lamp, you guys.
Yeah. Can't even. She has no lighting in her
lighting.
Yeah, no, the yacht isn't going to happen for a while. That's for sure. But I'm just one of those people that, like, if I had millions of dollars, we talked about this, Mindy, I would be like, new schools all around. We're getting a new middle school. Let's do it.
That's why people like us don't get rich, is because our value system is not caught up in how much power and money we have.
Yeah.
Our value system is based on how we treat other people and how those around us are doing.
It is why people like us should be leaders in communities and across the board, though. So.
That's why we have to change money in politics, which is this month's going to be Silver Patriots. It's going to be money in politics.
I don't know why we're so concerned about billionaires and making them richer than God. It doesn't make sense.
It's bizarre.
And we have what we need to do, and this is a problem on both sides of the aisle, is that we need to have an accountable tax system.
And get money out of elections. And we need to have a way, JD and I were talking about, like, the system isn't set up for people like us to run for these elected positions because, and if we want a healthy country, it needs to be nurses and teachers and everyday people need to have opportunities to be able to run for elected positions. Not just lawyers that have money or people that have money or billionaires or millionaires. If we continue down that path of those are our elected officials, we're never going to get anywhere.
And we need to overturn Citizens United.
100%. And
people with billions of dollars do not need to be influencing our elections.
And they're not people. Money is not people. How do you even equate money is not a person?
No.
A corporation is not a person. It's stupid. This has been another episode of She the People. We hope you enjoyed it. You can follow us on YouTube and follow us on Apple or Spotify. Thanks, Shahida. Thanks, Andy.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And just remember to stay strong, stay grounded, and keep up the fight. Yeah.